Hi, guys.
Oh, hey, what's up, Maisel?
No, it's actually Mazel.
Ah, it's Maisel.
It's Mazel.
Oh, hey, what's up, Maisel?
Mazel tov.
Like gazelle. It's Mazel. It's like a gazelle. It's like a look Mazel. It's Mazel. It's Mazel.
Welcome to another Thoughts with a Literal Gazelle. It's just me grazing out here with some of my own thoughts. If bottom laners miss the first minion, do you think they yell worth as they die? 'Cause that's an execution. I was alone. I was petrified. With only Harry staring into my eyes. I really want to be introduced to the question mark frog. I wonder what their name is. Is it Jeff? Maybe Linda. Maybe Jan knows. I'll have to ask him. Honestly, I'm just so proud of Shelly the Rift Herald. She doesn't get scared anymore when she is surrounded by 10 people and is forced to destroy a building. I wouldn't be able to do that. What happens to Moonlight Vigil when we get to 400 years? What about 1,000? I won't be around that long. Some say there's an elephant in the room against Team Liquid Honda. But I know that elephant, and he's never been in a room. I know Ayla likes hamburgers. Do you think he feels bad when he plays Alistair? Figuring out how to beat Team Liquid is hard. Out here on the plains, we see the animalistic side of things. I want to see the beast of Dignitas Academy. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more hunger in the bear for Dignitas Academy. I need to see the Perry Volley Bear. Well, until next time, I'm just grazing. Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Proving Grounds. It is Q time, and I don't know where we just went, but that was a good time.
Hey,
Some
I was
serious
gonna ask
thoughts.
you that. I was like, you're the host.
I'm not a gazelle. I'm Mazel.
Yeah, but
right?
you played.
Look, we gotta
segment,
address
did
the
you?
elephant in the room. But
He's
not
never
in this
been
room.
there. He's never. I don't know.
He's never been in
The
a room.
gazelle knew him. Like I don't know what you want me to say. In all actuality, though, what a comeback victory from Team Liquid Honda Academy. Showing what we wanted and expected from them in the first place, and now we get a banger game 3 in the way I feel like we deserved, Joshi.
Yeah, it's crazy to me to watch Team Liquid play in these best of series, because when they win, it's usually such a clinical win. Like, they just control the game from start to finish, and you'd never really feel as though the other team had a chance. But when they lose, you know, up against 100 Thieves in Proving Grounds in spring, they were scrappy back and forth. Now, the game one this time wasn't back and forth, but it was scrappy at the very least. And so it's really about controlling all of the variables coming through for Team Liquid. And I'm curious where they go when they are once again back up against the wall. When we saw them going up against Evil Geniuses, they surged back with confidence. We saw them go for a lot of plays, and that's what we really like to see from teams, right? Spawn had a great saying, I would rather see a really scrappy 3-2 where you go blow for blow every time than watch you calmly just win out a 3-0 every single time. Let's see some of the fireworks coming out from Team Liquid, and maybe a little bit more of a hungry bear coming out from Dignitas.
and I want to jump on the end of the point of that. One thing at the beginning of Game 2 that you talked about, Josh, is that one of the players you wanted to see step up in Game 2 was Ayla. And they gave him the reins and the agency to do so. Going from something like a Senna to an Alistar gives you far more playmaking tools and gives you the confidence to say, hey, you're the person leading and calling the shots. If you think an engage is good, you're going in head first and you're telling everyone, you better follow me up.
Yeah, for me as well, that first game was darning, right? Like, you don't want to come out of yeah, you know, PG. Keep it in the game 2, the mentality as well. Like, that is what was so telling to me for Team Liquid Honda Academy, right? Like to see them, especially Harry in the mid lane on the Cassiopeia, play so aggressively, just following him. Anytime that Dignitas were trying to take a trade and running away from it, he was getting those pop shots in with the Twin Fangs, and it all came together with even Jan playing with such confidence, such aggression in the bottom lane. I think as a whole, that is the Team Liquid Honda we want to see, and especially in this game too, the composition just felt like it fit them and their narrative better.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that we have to have seen coming in from Spawn, because I guarantee Coach Spawn after game 1 was frustrated with the way that he just saw his team play. And, you know, part of it was the draft. They weren't necessarily set up with everything that they needed. But I imagine that Spawn probably comes back to them and just goes, you know, what gives, guys? You're better than these guys. What was that? Bradley, you played against Gamsu before. It's time for you to stomp him again, right? Jan and Ayla, you know, you were just getting caught out all the time. Let's see you guys play smart. Let's see you guys put pressure on the other team once again. And I feel like if you can get your team to buy into that, it's like, yeah, we are better. We should be looking for all these fights. If you can build that confidence back up in your team, it will always give your team an edge going into the last game. And so now it's on Deus to try and turn it around. And while we know he's such a lovable, big, fluffy bear of a man, he will do arm wrestling with his players. Now it's his turn to try and get them to bounce back from what was a pretty clinical game from Team Liquid.
Yeah, exactly. And we have to go through a little bit of nostalgia here from this series in particular, because I want to take a look all the way back through game 1 to see that transition into game 2 as well. We'll start with clips from that game number 1 and just kind of talk about the journey to this. You know, I feel like one of the first 3-game series I've got to be a part of here, Joshi.
Yeah, it hasn't happened a whole lot. I think it's my first one as well. And I feel like this is one of those spots where Team Liquid would oftentimes have gone for the kill on JJ. And that might have been like one of the spots where they're just like, you know, we're not quite feeling it quite as much. And that's not something you see from Team Liquid a whole lot. But they go right on back the next time around. They're able to take down multiple members. And even though, you know, with that Perry coming in and taking down Scary Ayla, they're still able to find some shots back. But Team Liquid, they were a little bit hesitant before, and I feel like we've lost that. They are ready to go full throttle. Armeo immediately invading Perry off the bat. And even though we saw Perry have some great opportunities to go for the level 1, he wasn't able to necessarily capitalize on it. Team Liquid and Armeo in specific are so good at taking control of the jungle.
Yeah, they truly are. And I think being able to see the capitalization of some mistakes or some mispositionings from Team Liquid by the side of Dignitas Academy was huge, right? And I think it went both ways. I think the earlier parts of the game were a lot scrappier than maybe Dignitas were expecting Team Liquid to be when they were so far behind. But in all actuality, right, like it was these crucial moments, especially Insanity stepping up to the table. Barry, I'm just gonna call him Barry at this point, Rafa. It's actually incredible to see.
For Dignitas, giving them clear win conditions and executable compositions to play off of, where especially your rookie jungler has a clear "I'm going in" button with the Volibear. I think that's why Team Liquid were so adamant on saying, you know what, we don't care if the Sivert goes over to the way of Neo. Like, we've already taken away the Yuumi. That makes that combo insanely oppressive and can enable any other champion that has a hard time getting into fights past the 15-20 minute mark still a chance to be able to just full throttle in, because you get the movement speed, you get the final chapter route that is basically unblockable because no one can interrupt Yuumi while she's on someone else's back. But the rest of Team Liquid just bouncing back from this first game of the B-roll that we're seeing just shows that, like, hey, even a game that looked as I don't know what the word you want to call it, you know.
Uncharacteristic, I guess?
Yeah, uncharacteristic for Team Liquid. They identify the issues quickly, and it's what has made them so successful, not just for the regular season, as we've had multiple best of 2s over the course of the summer split, but also when we get into Proving Grounds in the past before, when we get into best of 3s, when we get into best of 5s. Their adaptation and being able to pinpoint, okay, you know what, we're going to flip this, we're going to flip this, we're going to change this early game plan, we're going to amp up the volatility at this point in the time, at this point in time as well, is just remarkable. And it's why we favor this team so much.
Yeah, and we get to see them going into game 2, right? They took away the Volibear from Perry. They didn't actually deny the Sivert, but it was just that change in gameplay against that confidence to come into game 2, Joshi.
Yeah, and it's definitely exciting to see some of the Australian players, right? Harry and Ayla in particular, step up from game 1 to game 2. We saw that Harry was on the Orion, the champion that doesn't have a whole lot of proactive agency, to the Cassiopeia, where you have to go forward. You have to be constantly looking for these angles, and we saw him do that. I remember, you know, for the amount of credit that we give Ayla, it's important to recognize that it would not be possible for to have all the success unless Harry was also a really sick mid laner, right? We don't necessarily look at him because he's just winning in CS a lot of the time. But he also makes some great plays. The guy is super mechanically gifted, and as he continues to make a lot more pressure on the map, as he is challenging Insanity instead of allowing Insanity to find all these flanks on his own, it's allowing Team Liquid to have another point of pressure on the map, and is part of why we were saying there are no weak members on Team Liquid.
Yeah. You can't fault them for some of the kind of overextension, some of the crazy plays we see, but
give up a
then
minion
you
for
see
that,
them come
yawn.
alive. Hey. You see the moments when they kind of step up to that stage and realize the position they're in, and a lot of times it has come post losses on Twitter, things like that, but in a best of, and especially in a best of 3, right, it does give that room for adaptation. I think is so important to highlight here, but especially honing back in on Dignitas Academy to adjust and come back into game 3, Rafa.
Mark,
Just watching.
Did we lose Rafa?
No.
he's watching in awe.
I mean, for me, I feel like we just keep kind of circling back, right? I mean, there's a certain point where Dignitas have shown, despite the roster iteration, to be able to play the game a certain way, but because it's been a very telegraphed way and a very simple executable way, while against lower like less coordinated teams, sometimes it's hard to break that pattern and be able to prevent them from being able to just execute the same plan over and over again. Team Liquid is not that same caliber of team. They are of a higher grade, and for Dignitas, at this point, I don't know if you want to go and run back another standard draft against Team Liquid. I think you
honestly.
need to.
Is that what we just get? We just get double standard drafts in game 3?
Well, for Team Liquid, I feel like Team Liquid, I love seeing them play standard. It's what they are best at. But for Perry in particular, right, so much of Dignitas' success has been allowing their rookie to actually have good games, right? They're getting him on the Volibear, on the Xinjiao so much in order to allow him to excel, in order to allow him to not be the weak point that we thought he might be. Again, he's been playing quite well for an Academy jungler for a rookie to be coming in. You need to make sure that he is propped up. You need to make sure that Perry feels confident going into game 3, because he already took game 1 against the best, what we were expecting to be the best team in the entire tournament. You need to take another game off of them. And Mark, I'm sure you know this very well. If you start getting in your own head, Perry doesn't feel confident in his ability to make plays, and he shuts down, Dignitas cannot afford to have a passenger player. And I don't think Perry's likely to do that, but this is the threat that they need to do. They need to give him what he's comfortable on. You need to make sure that he is ready to take the game to the next level.
The other thing, too, about Perry is when we had the interview clip after their victorious win over, I want to say, FlyQuest last week, the thing that Perry talked about was like, man, these have been some of my best games in my entire career. And normally a lot of times when rookie junglers come into Academy, they're experiencing some of their worst games or some kind of mid-level gameplay because they're stepping up to better competition. And I think the result of that is because the entire team is giving him the tools to succeed and is giving him the confidence. When we look at Perry's journey, you know, for those that don't know, he had scouting grounds or attended scouting grounds last year. I want to say Team Ocean at the time, and then had a stint on Evil Genius's Prodigies during the spring. They changed the roster going into the summer, of course. But, you know, Perry has seen like moments where he got a chance to step up. He didn't always get a chance to seize on that moment. This is the time where he has to step up and seize that moment. This is where he can make a huge name for himself and guarantee a fighting chance to stay in Academy next year.
Yeah, it's an important moment to step up. It is the proving grounds. But we do have a little bit of time till we get into Champs Life for game number 3. We're having some bio breaks and things along those lines. We had a media day where we had teams come up with handshakes, and I believe we have a little montage of that. So let's go ahead and throw to it.
I think we can do it. Just do it naturally. Just
do it naturally?
Just do it naturally. Just do it naturally with me, alright?
Oh my god. What do you think?
Here.
just start moving our hands and see what happens?
Yeah.
You know it. Nah. One more. Gotta snap, bro.
I
Come on.
can't snap.
Bro, we practice this.
Should go on. But like, I don't know how to like.
Let's go with the idea.
Okay, you go like this. And then you go like this. Like that. Okay, ready? So it's like.
Okay. So complicated, bro.
Like that. Do you know how to do it?
When'd you come up with this one?
Like a 6 or something. You want to talk about it or you want to just go for it?
No, there's no way if we go for it, we're just gonna like...
Could be some crazy shenanigans.
Just do a fist bump. We just do a fist bump.
Actually, we have one, but it's so secret that no one knows about it. Not even us. Yeah. No, it's like so secret we can't. Yeah, we can't leak. But like if we're about to do it, like if me and Joel try to do it right now,
Okay,
do it. No, just do it. That's it. Like it's so fast, you guys can't even see it. Even higher.
No.
We could, I don't know. We have to do like something like jiggy, you know? Like something like.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's do one.
That was solid.
We got a little fist bump, yeah.
That's not very secret though.
That's not very secret. I'm
Like this?
Give you some ideas. That's all you got. That's all you got.
What if it's secret because no one will expect how basic it is?
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Can I pump us here, guys?
High five.
High five? Can I have one?
I appreciate every single one of you for doing that handshake montage for us. That Prismo is a director in the future. Like, he was all over it. He was like, okay, we're going to do this. Concept was giving him ideas, that they had execution. It was really fun.
I look like some Star Commander type of, camaraderie. Yeah.
That's how you build the real bonds, all right? That's why they find themselves here in the upper bracket, huh? But no.
I also like diamonds as well. It's secret. It's so fast. Can't even track it, right? You got to get a little bit of opportunity to go through with that as well,
Hey, we will see if Team Liquid Honda Academy's handshake is stronger than Dignitas Academy's handshake as game number 3 is ready to go. So, guys, take it away.
Highlighted.
Well, to be fair...
We swapped.
Hang
Swap
on.
your camera.
Okay.
Change your orientation.
Okay, hang on. Wait a minute.
It's not a choice, Mark. You're born with it.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Josh. Just
Anytime.
give me 1 second.
Well, while you do that, we will start talking about
Boom.
what's actually going through as you unmirror yourself, maybe double mirror yourself. But now Dignitas coming right on back yet again. They have chosen to go onto the blue side. And that changes how the draft is going to be shaking up quite a bit, right? Because now Dignitas, they can choose to pick up the Volibear instantly. They can grab a Saver first pick, but you have to pick one of these champions you actually want. And you're going to be giving something right on back to Team Liquid. And based on what we've been seeing with Dignitas so far, I'm expecting they're probably going to have to be picking up the Volibear here, but no, they're going to ban it away. Is this a Zinjao first pick or a Sivir first pick?
I mean, they banned the Trundle as well. Now, Josh,
Mark,
we talked about, whether Dignitas wants to run back a standard draft, or do they want to, make it spicy, throw a curveball through Team Liquid's way. Perry in solo queue was known for his cane.
True. It's hard to pick that unless the draft kind of shakes up.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult pick to just like blind early on and say,
you can't pick it in the first 3 rounds. But if there is a situation that, paved the way for a cane, the puppy.
This pick is so good. This pick is so good. I know Smacks yesterday was talking about how this is the best pick on the patch so far, but this is not something where Perry's necessarily been playing a lot of it in the actual proving grounds. I'm sure they're screwing with it. Every single team needs to be ready to play this at the drop of a hat, but this has been one of our Mayo's best champions so far, and now Team Liquid, they have to decide how they want to react to this. I said the Sivir was going to be one of the most contested picks coming into this part, but we haven't necessarily come through, and the starter coming through for Armeo. Somebody call Captain Flowers at this point. Armeo throwing it down.
The Skarner pick comes in, and the whole universe was willing for Captain Flowers to come cast this game instead. It's like, wait, it has to be the Scorpion King himself. You know what? Flowers, if you're in the chat, I will do my best to call out the butt twists whenever they happen, if Armeo pulls them off. Now, Jan following up with the Aphelios saying they don't care about the Sivir, Josh. I mean, they dealt with it once, and we know the history of Jan. If you go all the way back to 100 Thieves Next, the very first class when he made his debut, that was one of his signature champions back in the day on this champion.
Yeah, and it's remained strong pretty much the entire time since we started seeing Jan come into the field. And so far, a lot of damage coming through. The issue is not going to be their ability to chew through Poppy or any tanks that are here, but Neo going to be throwing down the gauntlet. This has been one of Jan's also most played champions thus far. It's typically been paired with things like the Amumu and the Renata, but JJ is definitely somebody that I feel is going to be a little bit more focused on picking up the Amumu, creating a bit more pressure on the map and being proactive with it rather than trying to auto attack trade Jan and Ayla, because that's going to be a situation where you are always going to be in a tough spot.
Insanity going to the Talia once again. You have a lot more early game agency through the bottom side of the map this time around. It's not the Sivir where you're just kind of stalling and handshaking the lane, but a return to the Cassiopeia from Harry. He looked good on it in game 2, and they're making it a comeback.
Look, okay, so Kalista is one of these champions that I know a lot of people have been very vocal, because like, why is this champion considered playable when characters like Trundle, like Cassiopeia, like Singed, like Nasus exist?
Nasus!
And well, you did the whole Legend of the Blanc coming through for concept earlier in the season. Bradley's also played Nasus. Bradley has also been willing to pull out this champion, and if you just remove one source of damage, Talia will not be able to kill Skarner all on her own. You need the Kalista there, but a withered Kalista is not a real champion at all. Team Liquid are setting themselves up to remove Neil from the game. But it's basically impossible to remove Kalista from the first couple of minutes. She is always going to have an opportunity to try and force opportunities in the bottom lane. And Team Liquid, they've picked a very dedicated mid-range composition. They will always be able to hit basically no matter what Dignitas tries to do from this position, but they need to find ways to actually get in. Skarner's fast, but is he fast enough?
He has to expend so many tools just to be able to close the distance onto whether it's Talia or Kalista. Team Liquid, Onda, you're calling out that we're seeing a gangplank. There's no way. Yeah. We haven't seen this champion in any other role than jungle, and I'm pretty sure we're not seeing Skarner top lane from Bradley. Yeah, that would be something else. What I'm suspecting for Dignitas Academy is a lot of their power is in the first 10-15 minutes of the game. I was about to say, like, guys, don't freaking scare me like that. I guess now we're just doing the thing where we all flash Nila, the new champion, and not pick it in. But anyway, the Dignitas playing through the bottom side of the map, enable this Kalista, make sure that she snowballs ahead, because the later the game goes on, as you already called it out, now against the Shyvana and Skarner front line, that is an unkillable front line for the likes of Talia and Kalista on their own.
And so far, Team Liquid, they are already going forward. You have a very similar front line to what we were seeing previously, right? Volibear plus Renekton, kind of interchangeable in terms of like the way they function during these fights. They get into the front line, and while Renekton has more assassination power, Shyvana tends to have more sticking power, just presenting a front line. And as this Gwen actually comes through, very surprising pick to be coming through for Gamsu. It's not necessarily something he's had the same kind of success with, and there is now a lot of magic damage coming out from the side of Dignitas Academy. Between the Talia, the Gwen, and Renata even helping out with that, it makes it very easy for Bradley and Armeo to kind of itemize against this, and with Kalista as a solo physical damage threat, you can kind of just deal with her if one of you guys build a Frozen Heart.
Or just, if you diffuse the snowball from Kalista, and then you get through the first 10-15 minutes without suffering a massive gold lead, a massive turret deficit. What can Dignitas do when you start just building a bunch of magic assists? I will say, though, the nice thing about this Gwen pick is that it gives you late game insurance if things do not go your way early game, because if you stack up the AP, you will be able to shred through people with true damage, so it doesn't even matter what resistances they build. You just, on their side, they're hoping that they have enough HP before Gamsu is dealt with appropriately. But Team Liquid Academy, they've already shown us good looks in Game 2. Are they going to continue it here?
This is the first time in this series that I've liked Team Liquid's draft better than Dignitas, and this gives them an opportunity to really shut things down. We know that the players that kind of need to step up now, JJ can have really big hostile takeovers with his ult. He can create a lot of space against the mid-range composition that Team Liquid have drafted. But Neo and Insanity, once again, they're going to need to really focus on their ability to team fight throughout these, throughout this entire game and focus on their positioning in order to create space. And Mark, going into today, I did not think that there were a lot of universes in which Dignitas was going to walk out of this entire series with a win. Getting 2 wins off of Team Liquid. Getting 1 was already a big miracle, but we got to see what version of the universe we're going to be living in. And with a little bit of help, I think we can get ourselves onto Summoner's Rift here pretty quickly. So let's see what we got here. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Oh.
There's no place like home!
That was...
We're there! We're here! There's no place like Summoner's Rift, Mark. We're getting on to it for Game 3.
That was adorably dumb, but I love it anyway. You know, you being the Team Liquid former caster and them having a, Marvel affiliation, it fits.
It fits. Well. Let's go Team Liquid. It's time for them to find out what universe we're in, right? I would say that going into today, I would have given Team Liquid's odds of walking away with the series at probably like 85%, something like that, right? 15 times out of 100, we will see Dignitas walk away with this. Now, we're in Game 3. I solidly say, like, Dignitas have a real chance at making it here, but it feels as though Team Liquid is mad. They're throwing things at the wall. Harry's feeling good. Jan's feeling good. And now, as long as they play out this game relatively standard, it's going to be difficult for Dignitas to do anything, and Dignitas are the team that needs to be proactive. And who is the one who's going to be proactive, Mark? It's got to be Perry. He's not on his berry.
No, he's on a poppy. See,
Seed?
Still... No, just poppy.
Just poppy. Okay.
Yeah, just poppy.
Now, we will see whether or not he will have success on this champion. It is something that can be very aggressive, and I love watching poppies do that wee 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 woo as they spin around their hammer for fights a little bit later on. But whoa, JJ!
Wow! I mean, you said that JJ is going to have a lot more agency in being able to turn around fights, but level 1 from the get-go, the Dignitas bottom lane recognizing we cannot wait for the game to play out. We need to start just throwing punches and seeing which lands. And trading a flash from your support for the enemy marksman, that's a good trade. That's a great way for the Poppy to come in and try and set up some of these ganks. And so, Team Liquid's bottom lane, they need to be very careful. But that's the play we've seen Ayla go for. Now, Ayla will typically do that on AD carries that don't have flash available. This time, JJ going very aggressive on Jan, and great reaction time from Jan to actually stay alive from that position. And so, as they wait for this wave to come in, they hit level 2, they can start fighting once again, and look at where the junglers are, Mark. They're coming down for a party. Armeo already being on this bottom side of the map makes it more difficult for Perry to gank the lane without Armeo being able to counter gank and put enough pressure to fight back. Perry's trying to get into his face, though, and look for an invade, though. And it just delays Armeo from being able to take amps. As Perry, is he going to just flash and push Jan? There's not enough room to do this, right? That was a very bold play. That would be something that you just have to go for if you're ready for it. Bradley's getting low. Gamsu has Conquer stacked up as well. Armeo taking the camp farthest away from Perry so that he can at least get one camp down. Perry is able to exchange the Gromp. The blue buff is still up for a trade. Push in from Insanity is working towards his way. Maybe he can look over to Collapse and assist Perry in the invade. But it seems that the play is finally called off. Perry gives up on the pursuit of the blue buff. Armeo secures. Yeah, apparently the Flowers alarm was rung. We do in fact got your favorite champion here, Captain, reporting for duty on the board, and now he's the one who's looking to potentially force a dive. Okay, he has flash available, no flash on JJ, but he's safely under his turret, and now Perry. Is he going to turn around into the Scorpion King? But you don't want to fight a Scorpion too long. He's got the help of his friends as well on the backside, and Armeo will retreat back into the jungle. Going to be fairly slow early on, but look at... Wait, is
Is Armeo hitting the dragon right now?
No, he's getting the Spire.
Okay.
He's getting the best objective for Scorpion Kings in this game.
Zoom.
He's relieving the days of Dominion now. He's looking at Insanity, but Harry's far too away under the tower to really assist, so Armeo's just swinging on through.
Just swinging on through, not a whole lot coming out for Team Liquid just quite yet, but with the flash halfway back up from Yan, you have to remember that JJ, as a support, he gets to take the Inspiration Tree. He gets to take the reduced Summoner spell cooldown, so you'll notice JJ's flash is going to be back up before Yan's is, and that will be a big window for JJ in a couple of minutes. About a minute and a half, he will have an opportunity to try and make the same play up against Yan, and Yan will have to instantly cleanse it in order to make his way out of that play. And so far, Team Liquid, they're not having the same kind of early success. We haven't seen Armeo come down with as many opportunities to create space for Yan just quite yet. In the general, he only needs to have an opportunity to set up for the rest of his team.
Now, when we look at what Armeo needs to do, because we talked about Dignitas needing to find a massive snowball through the bottom side of the map early on. If Armeo just prevents Perry from being able to influence that matchup and allow Yan and Ayla to continue playing it out safely while they're matching CS hit for tat against Neo and JJ, does Armeo just not do his job correctly there?
It's tough, right? Like, you have a lot of ways. It depends on how confident you are in your ability to shut down Neo, right? Because if you look at the composition from Team Liquid, you have a lot of slows, right? You have the Miasma that Neo will not be able to jump on it. It limits his ability to auto-attack really heavily. You have slows and roots coming out from Yan. Ayla has slows as well. You have a ton of tools to shut down Neo. And if you are confident that you will be able to play that later on, where Neo will not be able to auto-attack during upcoming teamfights, it doesn't matter if Armeo has a big opportunity to create space for Yan and Ayla now, because you will be able to deal with it later. But if you're not confident on that, then it becomes very difficult.
Ayla might be in trouble. Might be forced to use Flash. Slow from Perry and Insanity collapsing down. But Ayla is very confident in Armeo just being around the corner and says, I don't even need to burn Flash, my jungler's here.
It's a lot of HP that he ends up losing, and so as Yan comes back from base, Ayla will be a little bit less able to create space, and as JJ takes away some of the fruits, Ayla looks on forlornly. No ginger or turmeric for him there, but Armeo...
That's 3-on-2 at the moment in the river. Neo is pushing in this wave, and Yan definitely wants to catch it. Perry can take this time to shift on over to the top side of the map. Neither team is really in prime position to go for a dragon. This is the real objective we were talking about. You know, I mean, when you get to have the Spire, like, your movement speed is increased, your attack speed is maxed out. Oh, it's incredible.
It's great, and now Team Liquid and Dignitas looking for a potential scrap around this dragon as the Spire does get picked up. There's definitely versions of Yan that would have just taken that Blast Cone over the wall, but instead they're just going to be picking up this Rift Scuttle. But the thing is, Neo's pushing in the wave. Like, Yan and Ayla are in a danger spot.
Yan still has Flash and Cleanse, cleansing the stun from the wall. Insanity collapsing in with the Weaver's Wall. Armeo's not level 6. We can't look for the butt twist anytime soon, but maybe he can stun someone up with the Impale. Harry flashing forward with the Petrifying Gate, stuns up one onto Insanity. The rest of Dignitas force a retreat, but Perry looks for the stun, but it doesn't connect onto the wall! And Perry has the bailout, but he's still going down anyway, and it ends up in first blood for Yan.
No stun coming through from Perry. He thought he found the way back in. If he gets that stun off, that might be the damage that they need. The crowd control for Dignitas to come back on in. But Team Liquid, they are so good at playing fights slowly, at waiting for the right moment. And that's the second or third time that we've seen Perry right in this area trying to make stuns happen, that Ayla doesn't give it to him. Harry's not giving it to him either. And just the raw damage that comes out when there's no more engaged threat. Harry just DPSs everybody all on his own from this position. He's able to create space. He baits Perry into going for the stun and just takes him down immediately after. Team Liquid so good when they are playing together, when they are navigating back and forth during these fights. When they don't get the dragon, it is the first step towards taking them down and finding their way to the LCS studios.
Solid 700 gold lead, nothing too massive to write home yet, but the momentum against an early game oriented composition, at least for the three-man core on the bottom side of the map, spells very favorable outlooks for Team Liquid's chances of taking this game in their own right. There's still a Rift Herald to play for. Neither team has gone for it yet. This dragon is still up for the taking. At Dignitas, with Kalista, normally you are favored to go for Dragon setups. You have the priority in the bottom lane, and with Armail on the top side of the map going for Rift Herald, if Dignitas are able to spot it out, they could rotate over quickly, but they have to do it sooner or later.
Yeah, and look at this. Ayla's already coming up. He always comes up for every Rift Herald. Jan is a bit of a 50-50, as in more of a 70-30. He doesn't come up. But now Team Liquid are here at the Rift Herald
You want to fight this? I don't know if you want to fight this, and here comes Armail. Okay, he got the butt twist down a little bit, and it pulls Perry into the maximum distance possible. Perry is snatched on
He's alive!
And the rest of Team Liquid, even though Bradley was facing death, 300 HP, still alive.
And there they go, and Team Liquid, they end up coming out with a little bit more gold in that fight. They get the 1 kill onto Perry, the bailout, not enough. Now they're still around here. They're trying to make this play happen. Again, Bradley can teleport back into topside, and you can potentially go for round 2. But Dignitas have everybody back on the map, and now, with the Rift Herald no longer under threat by Team Liquid, it's Dignitas with more members on the bottom side, but Gamsu.
Oh, now a 1v2. Pops the ghost, says, okay, never mind.
Whee!
See you later. Perry's not available quite yet. He's back on the map, and he's running over to the Dragon Pit. Armail has already used the Impale, so he doesn't have the same playmaking tools to be able to pick off one member from Dignitas. Might be enough that they are given room to play for the Dragon. Armail is forced off. But meanwhile, Jan and Ayla occupying the Rift Herald.
He missed!
Whoa, wait, Petrifying Gaze is going to land on the 3 members, but he still goes down. Rest of Dignitas are now piling on through. Rift Herald has been stalled out. Perry pushing on forward into the river. Remember, there's still no abilities from Armail yet. No Impale available. He might have to flash this soon if he gets walked out here. Weaver's Wall coming through. Armail is able to zip on through thanks to the Spire movement speed and gets out without even having to use a summoner spell. But this cedes control of the Herald over to Dignitas.
But that's also the 3rd time, Mark. We've seen Perry go for the wall slam and not quite find it. That's something that, so far, it hasn't meant a whole lot for them. They haven't been able to, they haven't lost a whole lot, but they're not gaining things in position where they probably should. Team Liquid getting these small outplays. And now, Team Liquid coming right on back in. Are they going to be able to pick somebody up on the backside?
Armail has flash, and this time Impale is ready, and the rest of Dignitas are going to respect it. They back off the play. They got the objectives that they wanted. For Team Liquid, there is a chance to now look at the Dragon while rest of Dignitas have most of their members on the top side of the map, and Armail is going to do exactly that.
Yeah, this is that tempo play coming through from Team Liquid. Bradley is here. There are more members of Team Liquid around than they are for Dignitas. And for the first time, it feels like, in so many games, even though Team Liquid are even in kills, they're not miles ahead of their opponents.
No way.
Here comes the...
Oh, that was cheeky from Perry.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried right now, if I'm entirely honest, Mark. That's the 3rd or 4th time Perry's gone for something, and it hasn't worked out for him, right? That's 3 heroic chargers he hasn't landed. That's an ultimate that he's gone for, and it hasn't quite worked. Now, you know him a little bit better than I do. I think you watch his stream a bit more than I do, but that's the kind of thing where if things keep going wrong, rookie junglers in particular are liable to kind of fall apart, lose confidence in their ability to play, and this is where the rest of the team needs to step up and be like, no dude, you are okay. You are still looking for opportunities to help you out every single time. We are here to back you up. Because the game is even. They're not behind just quite yet, but even though Perry is not necessarily having these great opportunities, he still has plenty of time left. This champion isn't weak later.
Heading into the mid-game here, as we're 2 minutes away from 15, where the laning phase tends to be acknowledged that, hey, it is now over. We are now crossing the map at this point. We're looking to take plates in the next minute or so, because it will be dropping at the 14-minute mark. Dignitas still having to find ways to play around this Kalista, but they have not found many optimistic looks so far, and that just spells Team Liquid a more favorable outcome.
You know who is doing well so far, Mark? And potentially the first time? Oh, looking for catch on Ayla. Gamsu. Gamsu is suddenly having a much better time into this Shyvana, into Bradley, than he's had in either Game 1 or Game 2. He's about 30 to 40 CS up already, and Bradley forced to use his ult just to get this underneath the turret. Bradley is trying to find this 1v1, but it might get turned.
All right, Gamsu pulls out the needleworks. One more thread. Doesn't find all of them onto Bradley. Bradley throws down the fire breath, but it's Gamsu that cleans it up. And as you were talking about it, Josh, if there's one person that can step up and save this game for the late game, it is going to be Gamsu on the Gwen.
We got a special guest for you guys, everybody. It's a Skarner game, and you know what that means.
Wait, no way.
How are you doing today, Clayton?
What are we doing?
Captain!
What's happening?
Oh my.
We
be.
are improving grounds. We're in the upper bracket right now. Winners semifinals. We're looking for an opportunity. The winner of this is going to go to the LCS studio, and Team Liquid are throwing out your boy.
Dude, this is so awesome. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm running on a little bit of a jank setup right now. Some reason I've got a little bit of repetition hearing what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing you guys about 2 or 3 times over each other. So just give me a moment, all right? We got some Skarner ready to go. Rafa, here's how it's going to work, all right? I've got to deafen myself in Discord. All right, we're going to deafen myself in Discord. All right, so here's what's up. You're the play-by-play. I'm going to make sound effects.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's the Korean caster this time. He's ready to go.
Yeah. I'm not going to take your spot, bro. I'm not here to take your spot. I'm here to talk about Skarner and make some noises.
Let's go.
Okay.
Well,
let's go.
With that, we already got him coming down towards the bottom lane a little bit. The Rift Herald does get dropped. Team Liquid, it feels, again, they're not quite as confident in this game as we saw them in Game 1. Bradley a little bit on the back foot, and the Rift Herald does get the charge off, but the turret will stay alive. And again, Mark, let's go back. Dignitas. This is a team that has come together very recently. They only started playing in the second half of the round robin at all, as we've seen players like XU and Spawn go up towards the LCS stage, and they have done such a wonderful job. They're pushing Team Liquid in Game 3, and it's not an elimination match, but this is their life for the upper bracket.
Yeah, and it's all through Gamsu, right? Gamsu has to be the person that finds these advantages, that threatens the backline, because if it wasn't for this Gwen, we go into the next team fight around the Dragon in about a minute's time. You imagine that Harry and Yon are completely unaffected by the dive attempts from Perry and from Neo and Insanity's damage. But if you've got a Gwen who is just snipping you to bits, how are you supposed to deal with that as Team Liquid?
Very difficult, right? And
I also got to get with you guys for a second. I know you guys here in the amateur scene, in the academy scene, are really big on building up players, letting people know like how dedicated these guys are. Allow me to profess it daily, nightly, and ever so rightly. Armeo literally came into my Twitch chat one time when I was casting just, you know, a game of solo queue that he happened to be in with the Skarner, and he was like, "Wait, I think I could have won if I would have done the Trinity Force. I would have done the Conqueror, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I think in this situation X, Y, Z." And he was like, "Yeah, A, B, C." The dude literally talked to a guy who was hard stuck Diamond 1 75 LP as a Skarner 1 trick to try to glean information. Armeo's a Giga Chad. In the brain, in the lane, all over the place, bringing the pain. The man knows how to get it done, all right? I have faith.
Well, Armeo was able to get himself out of a sticky situation in the river, had to burn his flash, but he is still alive and well. He still has Impale available, but it would require far more uses of the team's resources to get into the pit, and it might just be enough for Dignitas to secure the second dragon of the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Chem Tank, right, to go for the Zoom. Doesn't have the same kind of damage in the Trinity Force this time around. As he backs away, Team Liquid going to be giving up the Hex Tech Dragon, right? Armeo, you know, not able to get the whole thing, right? I mean, we've all seen it. We've all seen the Twitter clips where Skarner will ult the Poppy as Poppy ults the Skarner, and then Poppy goes, whee! Well back over towards the wrong side of the map. Not gonna be able to get that off, but we get to see the power of Poppy, right? You are able to isolate members of Team Liquid. Poppy knocked away Armeo, and suddenly Bradley, solo frontline, going up against Insanity and Neo, not able to create enough space on the side of Team Liquid. As the Dragon goes down, we're back to an even spot.
Got the second Rift Herald coming up on the play for Team Liquid Academy. Armeo doesn't have Flash, but being the Skarner expert yourself, Captain, what can you do with Skarner without Flash in this instance?
All right, so when you don't have Flash, what you got to be looking for, keep your eyes on your actives. You're running a phase rush, so it means that as long as you hit Q plus R plus Chilling Smite, you're going to be able to trigger your phase rush. Your pullback, it's going to be very fast. We're talking fast and furious, right? Vin Diesel on that bullshit 10-second car. That's what Skarner is. You ain't a 10-second car, you won't go far. So, find yourself Talia, find yourself Callista, find yourself Renata. No Gwen, no Poppy. Those aren't wins.
Those aren't wins, and yeah, just you call their Armeo immediately blown to bits, and now Team Liquid are trying to find their way in, and Poppy
They can't get through the Unraveled Earth. Insanity's creating so much zone control through the E of TLA that Bradley wanted to be able to surge on through, but the damage had already been done. Armeo, once he's taken out, it's hard for Team Liquid to brute force their way through corridors, and Perry doesn't have to worry about flashing for this body slam if Perry just walks up on knowing that he was waiting in the bush. He doesn't go down, but this gives pressure for Gamsu and Perry to look for this tower on the back end.
And we're seeing that the Skarner isn't fast enough this time around, Mark. We are seeing that because Bradley and Armeo, they're playing the Shyvana and the Skarner, the only way for them to really get these fights, just go barrel up. You just got to go right on and straight up a pipe. And as you said, the Unraveled Earth comes through. The JJ's Hostile Takeover goes down. You suddenly have to run through Poppy's Hammer. It's so difficult for Team Liquid to get a lot of these fights started, and they're playing much more cautiously. And Team Liquid can't afford to play cautiously. The player that you put so much pressure on at that point is Jan. He's currently on the Affiliates. He's got the Gale Force, and so he can, as we've said many times, he can Kaisa all over somebody, but that's a lot of pressure to put on one guy. You already got Chillbow completed onto Neo. You got that bailout coming through from JJ, and you're saying Aphelios has to one-shot both of them?
It's a tough task.
All right, gentlemen, I want to go ahead and apologize to both of you two and to the stream. I was kind of watching the Twitch feed instead of the actual game feed, and that's why I was 6 seconds behind, and I was a little misaligned on some stuff.
That makes sense.
So that was my bad. Look, all right, we haven't done remote casts since like a year ago for the LCS, so I was a little bit out of pocket. That's my bad. I apologize, but I'm back on it right now. We're going to the replay. Look at that. Oh, beautiful camera angle. Skarner, run! No!
No, he has no flash. He has no way out of it. He has to just pull people up close so that at least they can try and get something done. But as you said, the Unraveled Earth creates so much space. Jan can't hit Gwen while she's immune, and it's so difficult to walk up into a Kalista and a Talia, guys. It's really, really tough for Jan to try and make those plays. And while this game goes longer, it's going to be very tough for them to have opportunities to create space. And Dignitas, they find themselves 3,000 gold ahead. This is what Team Liquid normally do to other teams.
And while we were on the flip side of the replay, production did inform us that Insanity used the Weaver's Wall to cut off the minion wave that Team Liquid were looking to use to siege against, I believe, the mid tower. Saves it for now. Dignitas just doing everything and expending every single resource they can get to prolong this game, to give more time for Gamsu to continue scaling on up.
Team Liquid, it feels as though they have ways to fight. Yes, Flowers?
This is an awesome game right now. Like we're what, 2,500 gold apart, 21 minutes in. I feel like this has to be able to go anybody's way, right? Like keep your eyes on Skarner. I'm telling you, I know it sounds biased, but one pull, one game. That's what we operate on here, all right? One pull, one game. You get Kalista when she ain't looking for it, boom, you're done. You get Insanity when he's not looking for it, boom, you're done. Take out JJ 1 second before the rest of the team's ready to respond, boom, you're done. That's all it is. That's all it is.
And now Team Liquid, they have to make some space, right? Armeo can always be the hero until the QSSs come out. Dignitas don't have a whole lot of recourse if you just flash and pale somebody. But Harry and Jan, just what we were looking at, right? They will be able to hit the front lane. They can hit Perry every single time. Gamsu, they have to be a little bit farther forward. But the big challenge that they're going to have is trying to get their way onto Neo and Insanity. Because Insanity, he's done a great job using his E to create so much space. And now both teams are lining up, but Team Liquid has the inside track. They can get to this choke point a little bit faster than Dignitas, but Dignitas aren't letting them walk over towards the dragon just quite yet.
The E cooldown is up for Insanity. A few more seconds. Oh my gosh, wait, it is just back on up. The ability haste on this thing is absolutely insane. But Armeo has flashed this time around.
It's nuts.
So yes.
Oh, he gets one. He gets one.
Butt twist, and he's pulling him right into the miasma, so Gamsu cannot dash out of the terrain. Hostile takeover turns everything around onto Team Liquid. Shutdown comes out from Harry, and Gamsu is now gone. The damage, it's all on Insanity and Neo to be able to clean up this fight, but it's not enough to deal with this massive frontline. Armeo is waiting over the wings. He's got it, the flash, and he's looking just to pull them all asunder. Unraveled Earth Seismic Shove combo is going to be huge for Insanity to turn this fight around. It's still on Neo and Insanity to put out the damage, but they have to deal with this giant dragon. They have to deal with the snake, but multiple members from Team Liquid low on health bars. Perry waiting around the right wing, and what? What even killed him? Was it just poison?
He just bled to death on the other side of the fight. Harry Poggers in the Chamber of Secrets, man, coming through at the final arrow. What? Dignitas, there's no way, guys. Okay, the teleport comes through.
Oh, God. Oh, okay. Finds the wall slime onto Ayla, but he flashes over the wall. Armeo, where is he? He has to come back all the way from base, but Neo and Perry have the secure, and Gamsu gets to pay revenge back onto Harry after getting picked off by Team Liquid in the fight prior. That is the second dragon going over for Dignitas. And now, Josh, we are at a point, mid-game, almost 25 minutes. Dignitas are starting to surge ahead, 2,000 gold ahead.
They get the dragon. Team Liquid didn't believe that Dignitas would be able to do it. I didn't believe them either. Perry was so low, but Team Liquid had recalled so many members.
At this point, Flowers, now being able to watch that fight unfold, you see how difficult it is for Skarner to be able to get in once his flash is gone.
Hard, man.
How do you navigate the terrain?
The terrain, I mean, the entire situation is going to be difficult, right? Skarner's the champion from Season 2. He's a skritter, sneaky critter. He tries to run up to you, but the problem is a lot of champions have a ways to say, get the hell out of here, you're not doing that. So, what we got to do is we got to find angles, gentlemen. I'm talking trigonometry, sine, cosine, tangent, all of that BS. That's what I need to be locating right now with my Skarner as mid lane.
Okay, Jan still has to flash away. He's able to get out scot-free. Unraveled Earth makes it difficult for Armeo to be able to run through, but Ayla's almost taken down, blinking less than 100 HP. They have the range. Perry using it, but then he throws himself right into the impale, and Armeo says, get over here! I'm the true Scorpion King on this map.
Able to take him down, but the smite coming through at the last moment from Perry. Gets the trade 1-for-1, and now Team Liquid, are they really going to try and do this Baron right now? The jungler is dead from Dignitas. No, they're going to be backing away, picking up again the objective of the Spire. They get a little bit more control of vision in this quadrant of the jungle. But Team Liquid, this game so back and forth, and you're seeing that Dignitas, they have tools, and they are using them super proactively to create space for their front line. The Gwen and the Poppy coming together in order to create enough opportunities for Neo and Insanity to do damage. I love Insanity's proactivity with his ultimate. He's constantly coming in from off angles, creating pressure on Harry and Jan, saying you can't just stand here in the middle. And again, Poppy is so good. You just remove one person from the fight for easily 5-10 seconds. That's 2/3 of a team fight before anything actually starts. And now Team Liquid, they want to make something happen. They have 4 people here in the mid lane. Dignitas don't have that many people to respond.
Vision is almost completely dark. Had it not been for that Scuttle Crab giving a little bit of light for Dignitas, but it's the light that they are reaching for, the light that could be enough that Dignitas use to make an impressive upset over our best Academy team, reigning dominant in the summer split, being our current Proving Grounds champions from spring 2022. If Dignitas were to make that first upset forward, it would change the course of the entire tournament.
Now Dignitas are the ones there creating pressure around the Baron. Team Liquid don't have waves. It's not as though Dignitas are here too early because there's nothing for Team Liquid to threaten them with. Jan?
On the side. Spotted out. Armeo pulls it in, impale, but he can't get far enough forward. It's the terrain control and hostile takeover zones them all off. Shyvana completely cut off from the life support from Team Liquid as their backline was picked off and booted out by Perry's hammer, and they're back onto the Baron. Armeo tries to brute force his way in once again, but that Scorpion is not feeling too glum about it now. He is crawling away, looking for another way to get back in. Neo, meanwhile, hitting the Baron, stacking up the spears, getting this Baron ready, but it's taking way too long, and Harry and Jan, if they move into position, they can turn it all right onto Dignitas' head. Don't let the means stand you, Dignitas. You have to be able to secure this one. 1500 spike comes out. Barry secures the Baron, and now they turn right back onto Jan. They find a kill trade onto Neo, but Harry and Jan are still alive. They can clean on up. They're trapped in this pit. They're all, but the walls are closing in on a Harry. Instead, Dignitas turning around. Jan can't step up forward. No mana. And now we have the second wind of reinforcements. Bradley's coming in, ready to ascend, but doesn't have the Draconic Force already stacked up. Looking to take off kills. Dignitas have to run, have to flee. Ayla dancing around, trying to bait them in. Right back into Bradley. Bradley's in the middle of all 3 of them. He can clean them up if he can just get on top of them. But the CC, the slows, the damn crowd control is too much for Bradley, and Dignitas stall it out and take the Baron.
And Perry, once again, doing so much work with his ultimate, even though Armeo comes in, the great seismic shove is there, but that's not the big part of this fight. It is the fact that Jan and Harry booted away. They can't participate. This Poppy once again paying off. By the time they get on back, it's a 4v5, and this looks like it could be shooting fish in a barrel, but Team Liquid, they don't have a front line, right? Armeo's too low, Bradley is dead, and as they try and corral the members of Dignitas, they are able to create a perfect concave on the side of Dignitas. They are able to hit the same target with so many people, and even though Jan has so many chakrams that he is shredding through everybody, Harry is running the ghost. He is so fast. There are too many skill shots that you have to dodge away from. You can't dodge all of them, and even though Armeo tries to get the smite to come through, it's not enough. Jan too low. Harry only one man up against 4, and it is absolutely crazy. You land the one seismic shove that you need to. If you miss that, that's Harry's go button. But you land what you need to, and their ability to play around Team Liquid has been immaculate.
And Flowers off of the back end while this replay was going on. Dignitas just picked up the 3rd dragon of the game. They're at Mountain Soul Point.
So big.
Team Liquid, they're running out of options to close out this game now.
They are.
They absolutely are, especially when you're thinking about Skarner. Right? You talk about Skarner, you talk about getting a pull. Mountain Soul's going to stop that from being able to come online and guaranteeing the kill. Getting a kill in the net versus having to finish off somebody when they can respond, very, very night and day different. You guys have been talking up Team Liquid, talking about how these guys are the reigning champs. This is the squad. Dignitas are looking fierce, man.
They are, and Perry, once again, he's come back. He had a couple of mishaps early on, but his control over the battlefield has been crazy. He's pairing up so well with Insanity, and the fact that this mid-jungle duo has worked so well so quickly, Armeo?
He's going to pull Gamsu right on in, try to catch him out while he is pushing, but Insanity's Weaver's Wall cuts off any further reinforcements, and beautiful verdicts! Keeper verdict from Perry.
Nice.
Punts away the threat away from Gamsu, and that gives enough time for Dignitas to take out the inhibitor. Oh, huge Gravitum gun root from Jan. Does it root them down for long enough so that Team Liquid can catch them out? Doesn't seem like that's the case.
Team Liquid, they're struggling to find their way in. Poppy has been so good. Armeo taking so much damage. Can they defend the turret?
Gamsu is getting so scary at this point. The true damage off of those snips, not even the tankiest member in Armeo or Bradley is going to be able to withstand this champion from Gamsu. We are heading into the late game, boys. This is where the fights can become so more damaging for either team. Yes, Dignitas are leading 5,000 gold ahead, but if Team Liquid get one clean sweep where the death timers are long enough that Team Liquid can get some major reparations back down, it could be a complete comeback.
And Mark, guess who's paid their taxes? Guess who's paid their taxes? It's Insanity and Neo. IRS came knocking. They got their QSFs. You can't get Insanity. You can't get Neo anymore. You could never get JJ because he just gets ulted out by Neo. The only people that Armeo can ult now are Perry and Gamsu, and we just saw Perry, he saved his top laner once again. Armeo's options are running out, and he's just running on in, trying to get something to do.
Oh, the flank for Bradley. Can they collapse on this one? Armeo collapses on in. Weaver's Wall cuts off Ayla from being able to get into the fight. And hostile takeover turns Jan right onto Bradley. He's forced to kill his own dragon. Forced to flash over the wall. Harry getting knocked up.
This is it. This is it. They're done.
Dignitas Academy. I do not believe my eyes. That is happening right now. But Dignitas, they are on the cusp of upsetting the current Proving Grounds champion and sending them to the lower bracket.
Team Liquid going to be upset by a rookie jungler. Bunch of people coming down from LCS, and Insanity has been playing out of his goddamn mind. They're trying to end the game here, but the one execute.
But Jan has another thing coming for them. Moonlight Vigil with the flamethrower attachment takes out two members here. Perry and Insanity and Neo do not have enough strength to be able to take out the next inhibitor tower on the chopping block through the top lane. Dignitas are forced to retreat here.
But what is there for Team Liquid to do? There's no Baron coming up. They need to continue creating pressure on the map. Gamsu will be alive when the Baron actually spawns, and as Armeo looks for something to do, they grab the Spire, yes, but they are down 6,000 gold. They are down 2 Mountain Dragons. I think that's 18% bonus HP effectively from both the armor and MR. They're so hard to kill, and the QSS comes through.
Taxes are paid, and Armeo, not the happiest Scorpion, but it's a cooldown.
No.
Maybe they can play around it. How long is the QSS cooldown related to Impale at this point in the game, Flowers?
So QSS is a static 90-second cooldown. He got back. I'm just thinking you're tossing that to me as you knew he was going to get back. You had the faith, right? Exactly. So QSS is always a static 90-second cooldown. As the game goes on and Skarner's able to acquire more ability haste, you will be able to get your ultimate significantly lower cooldown than the QSS itself. The problem is, in pro play or pro adjacent play here with Academy and Amateur, it's still hard to force a fight within that window. Let's see what they can do.
Okay,
so he's
Armeo.
halfway done.
Yeah, Impale's still not quite up yet. They're burning down the Baron, and they just stun up Armeo. If they can take him down, there's no jungler to contest for a smite onto the Baron. Hostile takeover is huge. Yawn forced to turn on to Bradley once again. They're tearing each other apart, and the rest of Dignitas secure the Baron once again, and they peel away from it. The Mountain Soul is available for Dignitas, but they're not in position to secure it. This might be a dragon forfeited over to Team Liquid instead.
Dignitas still happy with their situation, right? We are continuing to see the amount of pressure that Insanity is putting out on the map. He is not allowing Team Liquid to come in, and it's so difficult, right? You saw Armeo, his ultimate is up now, but it wasn't up in time for the actual Baron contest. And so Dignitas can threaten to end the game at this point, Mark. They can threaten to upset the #1 seed, the Proving Grounds champions, the most dominant Academy squad we have ever seen. And now Dignitas, they're doing it again with such a crazy roster. These guys came together only weeks ago. They started playing together right before Proving Grounds started. This Team Liquid roster got to play this entire year as a group, and so far Dignitas are looking great.
And the fact that Dignitas, this is what, their 5th, 6th iteration of a roster that they've had to deal with, while the Dignitas LCS roster wanted to change things up to make a push for playoffs, and it ends up with, as we called out, rookie jungler Perry coming in almost on the 6th week of LCS, or of the Academy split, and he has adapted so well. Yes, he's playing easy to execute champions for himself, but he is picking up the pace. He is making himself look like a jungler worthy to be in Academy for next year. And the rest of Dignitas just stepping up to facilitate him. Even Gomsu on this Gwen, we said that he had to be someone that made sure, is ensuring he is a threat that pushes Team Liquid's backline to the very brink of despair. It's working out well.
Yeah. And look at the difference right now between Bradley and Gomsu. 3-level difference, nearly 100 CS. Yawn is a higher level. Beaver's Wall creates space.
They want to be able to corral this minion wave in to hit the inhibitor. But the wave clear, too strong from Yawn. Good space tools as well from Harry. Anytime you throw out the miasma, you do not want to step into it. You cannot flash, you cannot dash, you cannot do any movement abilities whatsoever. A stun onto Perry. Yawn throws out the Moonlight Vigil, gets some damage down, but nowhere near as damaging as the last one we saw on the top side of the map. Bradley has the Draconic Fury already stacked up, can make that Draconic Ascent. Look for a soft engage onto the backline here. And they're just waiting. Dignitas just playing off waves, playing off of the mid lane waves from Gomsu, playing off the bottom lanes for the rest of the 4-man core. Unraveled Earth, it's going to go down. This might be a window where Team Liquid want to go for it. Keeper's Verdict already expended as well. Perry did not find anyone, decided not to use it instead.
15-second window, but the window closes fast when it's that quick. Team Liquid, this is where they got to rely on that veterancy. This is where Armeo and Ayla, the shot callers for the team, need to try and find something. They got to look for the angles.
Flash available for Armeo as well. He can look for the Impale. Oh, on Seismic Shove, but Harry, quick flash, gets out of danger before he is stunned up by the rest of Dignitas. Flipping for that moment. Inhibitor about to go down. Bradley inching forward, looking for an engage, but still cannot find it. Inhibitor, through a very slow and controlled push, Dignitas find the first inhibitor on the bottom side of the map. They take out the inhibitor in the mid lane. Armeo getting chased out by Neo. Bradley can't do anything about it. He has no threat on them whatsoever. Hostile takeover immediately cleansed by Yawn. He can fight on forward. He's pushing on to Perry into the backline. Neo stepping on up, flashing forward.
The QSS!
Armeo! The QSS was used too early. Armeo capitalizes on it, impaling him, bringing him right back into the team. At Dignitas, the push is over. They have to retreat.
The QSS was used early from Neo. He goes down. Armeo finds it. He's been pushed to the brink this game, but he still finds an opportunity. But there's no objectives here for Team Liquid to pick up. Their waves are so far back. Dignitas are able to create pressure. The teleport's coming through.
Oh, Armeo, can he get the fracture? Yeah, he landed the fracture, gets the stun out. Gomsu has nowhere to run. Abela comes out, but it's already too late. And Team Liquid, they're desyncing Dignitas right now. These timers, the recalls, are they going to come off time? And Team Liquid, they're just letting JJ stall out as much as he can.
They want him to still be dead when these objectives are actually spawning. They're trying to buy time Team Liquid thinking about everything that they could possibly do in order to give themselves every single advantage. They're playing so aggressively. The one thing I do like, though, JJ, he's bringing them back to their side of the map, so it takes time for Team Liquid to get back out. But Team Liquid, they have now put JJ in a position where he will be coming alive at the same time the dragon spawns. Team Liquid are on the brink of getting knocked into the lower bracket, but they will not go quietly. Jan, 8-2, one of the youngest players that we have on Team Liquid, stepping up at the very end. He had so much growth between spring and summer. He's become so much more aggressive, and now he needs to find his way in. He needs to dodge Keeper's Verdict. He needs to dodge away from the seismic shove. He needs to be able to cleanse the hostile takeover, get away from it. If he fails to get out of any one of these abilities, it could be Team Liquid's loss, and Dignitas could win. But Neo,
you cannot get caught out. QSS for the Impale. Team Liquid turn their tails right back on to the Dragon, but they're going to be the first ones over to the punch. Dignitas, realistically, they can forfeit this Dragon. It's not soul point for Team Liquid quite yet. Dignitas have to remember the stakes that are on the line. Winning here means that you move on in the upper bracket and you're guaranteed top 4 to play live at the LCS studio for the finals week of Proving Grounds. Dignitas seeing how they can make their entry on in. No Impale available for Armeo. Keeper's Verdict available, winding on up, doesn't find anyone. 6,000 HP on the Dragon. Miasma is thrown out. No one can step up past that line. And they burn down the Dragon.
Oh, no! Insanity!
No freaking way! He steals the Dragon and Mountain Soul is secured for Dignitas!
And they have the angle on the Baron as well as the Super Minions are crashing in the bottom lane. A smite miss by Armeo puts Dignitas in the perfect position. This is heartbreaking for Team Liquid fans. This is heartbreaking for me, but now they have another opportunity. Bradley has no teleport. They can't even get in. Dignitas ready to go to winners finals.
I'm speechless. What is happening?
Dignitas are coming up huge. Insanity playing some of the best League of Legends I have ever seen him play. This series, this Proving Grounds, this second round robin, he's ready to go back. As you said, he was trying to be a leader before, but now that he's got this experience around him, he can focus on his own play, and my God, does it look good. Taking away yet again an objective. Creating so much space, the Weaver's Wall separating so many sides. The Weaver's Wall at the beginning of that, slowing down the ability for Team Liquid to even go over towards the Dragon.
To see the journey that Insanity has gone through, you were a part of it at the beginning when he had his Academy debut and he was in the Academy squad for Team Liquid, had a chance to compete in the Immortals LCS team. It didn't have the best outcome. Comes back to Amateur, plays on 100 Thieves next, works his way back up through the grind, gets put on the Dignitas Academy squad, and alleviates so much responsibility from JJ being the only veteran on that squad. Alleviates so much shot calling duties so that he can step up and lead the team. And now in this final iteration, it is Insanity that is finding clutch moments and clutch plays. Dignitas, one more push to end this game, to cement yourself into the top 4, to cement yourself into the winner's bracket, and to be the one to upset Team Liquid, to be a team to take a series off of them since spring. Dignitas, it would be incredible to the legacy of this org.
It would be ridiculous, and right now, Insanity, we talk about it. People made fun of us when we said Doku was our most valuable prospect. If this was how Insanity had played the entire season, the amount of growth that he's shown in such a short time, he would have easily been a front runner. But now, he's still stepping up at the right time. The scouts' eyes are on them. That's way on.
You can go forward. No one is going to threaten you in terms of damage other than Harry. Get a couple of punts in. Middle inhibitors exposed by Gamsu. Armeo tries to go forward, but he's getting chunked out, forced to retreat. And Dignitas, they're taking this the methodical way, making sure that they leave no room for error that Team Liquid can punish. They have successfully taken out all 3 inhibitors, and now it's just a game of patience, waiting for the Super Minions to corral in, because now it's going to be 2 waves of Super Minions. I say that. There's a bottom inhibitor that needs to be taken quite yet, but the Weaver's Wall cuts them off, and they can just touch the inhibitor. There's a few more auto attacks, and now double Super Minions. Just hit the damn thing already! Oh my goodness, Team Liquid not giving an inch.
Jan?
They are preventing Armail looking for
Jan, Harry!
QSS, but Jan, can he hit onto the backline? He's got the green gun, but Harry's taken out. Hostile takeover is beautiful, and Gamsu is making the threat onto the backline. Jan's taken out, that's it! Dignitas will upset every expectation that we have had throughout Proving Grounds. They will be the first one to send Team Liquid to the lower bracket, and the real gauntlet begins for this squad. But Dignitas, they're the first team cemented into the top 4 for Proving Grounds.
An upset from Dignitas Academy. Absolutely ridiculous. We can take Captain Flowers to join us on the cast. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Clayton.
What's up, boys?
But that was the biggest
Dude,
upset.
thank you guys so much for having me in for this. I love talking about Skarner here for a couple of minutes. That was an awesome series. I'm going to go ahead and tag out now so you guys can talk about the impact of this upon the entire Proving Grounds ecosystem, I guess is the word, because I feel like this is going to have some ripples, some ramifications. So y'all have a good time. I'll catch you later. Thank you so much for letting me talk about some Skarner.
Absolutely.
Bye,
it's a pleasure to have you, Clayton. All right. Well, Mark, now it's just us. Dignitas turned that one around. They are now waiting in winners finals. These guys are guaranteed to play in the top 4. They're going to be playing in LCS Studios. They did it against Team Liquid Academy. I started the day by saying I thought we were looking at Team Liquid and Cloud9 both ready to go. Both are favorites to be in the grand finals. But now a new challenger approaches. Dignitas has stepped up, and Insanity, you're so freaking hot, brother, man. The way that you have been playing so far this Proving Grounds has been absolutely ridiculous. This is the Insanity I've always wanted, and you know, I've been a big Team Liquid fan this entire time. I gotta say, I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next.
Since 2019, at least from my memory, of when Josh knew Insanity back on Team Liquid Academy to take down a former org, an org reputed as the current Proving Grounds champion, and not having lost a series, a best of 3 or best of 5 series since spring. The streak is now over. Dignitas have ended it. They are now in the top 4. They are in the upper bracket finals. And for us, we're going to be taking a break. But when we come back, Mizell will be on the interview desk with a winning Dignitas member.
Welcome back to the Verizon post-game interview, and I am with no longer just the elephant in the room, but the man standing in front of Team Liquid Honda Academy, denying them further upper bracket. Dignitas Academy, a 2-1 victory. Gamsu, my dude, how does it feel to defeat the undefeatable, it felt like, going into this Proving Grounds?
Yeah, I think Liquid is the best team in Academy, and I'm just really happy to win against them. And I just thought that if we win today, we might win the whole thing.
I love it. Hey, you're looking good. The adaptation, the strengths. What about this win stands out the most for you? Is it just the camaraderie, the team effort, anything along those lines?
I think last game in the draft, they didn't think I can play champions like Gwen, but I was able to show I can play anything, and it makes everyone to draft harder against us.
Get the little Gamsu playoff buff there, flex your muscles a little bit. I love to see it. I just want to ask, Was there anything different coming into prep for Dignitas Academy this week? Did you guys do anything special to prepare for Team Liquid Academy?
Since we are like almost like a new team, Puri just got here and me and Neo just in academy, and we are still building up our synergy. So instead of focusing on them, we focus on building our strength.
Hey, gotta focus inwards before you can take down the competition. I can appreciate that. Moving forward now, though, getting into the top 4, right? Guaranteeing yourselves a LAN experience. What does that mean for you, Gamsu? Yet again for another split.
I mean, since I'm back to League, I'm in every Proving Grounds final, and I have the same goal. I'm going to final this time too.
I love it, man. Gamsu, it's so nice to see you guys come out on top. Speaking a little bit more about the newness, the kind of change to the roster, do you feel like you guys have just found a rhythm with this squad? Is there something, with Perry's communication, with Neo in the bottom lane that has really tied things together?
I would say our coach Dales has been trying very hard to put team together, and I really appreciate his effort.
Gotta appreciate those efforts, man. Well, I will say it is great to see you guys move on. Do you have any thoughts in terms of competition moving forward, especially, if you're either going to be facing Cloud9 Academy or AoE Ginger Turmeric? Do you have any thoughts on those two teams?
I still think the Liquid is the best team in the Proving Ground, and I'm not afraid of any teams.
Let's go. Looking forward to that rematch with Team Liquid in the finals then, I'm guessing. I want to give you a little last bit to give any shout outs, anybody you want to talk about before we let you go, Gamsu.
I just thank for every fans and my family and just my teammates who's been working hard, and we will keep going.
Hey, gotta keep on going. Thank you so much for talking to me, Gamsu. I appreciate you so much. Go enjoy the win. Go celebrate a little bit with the boys.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna bring back Rafa.